Hello, my friends, it's Lisa, and welcome to my December bullet journal setup, the final monthly setup for 2021. I can't believe we're already here. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm excited to share my December journal with you all. So, for this month's theme, I am a big lover of Christmas and Christmas time, so I wanted to do something revolving around that. I know it can be annoying when all of the themes in December revolve around Christmas, but I can't help it. I just love Christmas, and this is my journal, so I do look at it every day, and I want it to bring me joy. So I decided to do this kind of Christmassy, but like more neutral looking type of theme. As you could see on the kind of title page, I actually did like a Dutch door sort of thing and wrote December going up the side, and I drew a candy cane and a sugar cookie and some stars. And now I'm doing this design on the kind of calendar page where the Dutch door shows the next page. And I wanted to do a design where you could see it on the calendar page as well as the title page with the Dutch door. So I'm just drawing these lights. I do this pattern throughout the entire spreads all this month. I do these kind of pine tree looking branches. I do the candy canes, the sugar cookies. I do the dried oranges, some pine cones, stars, things like that. Just things that are Christmassy but not in your face. I used a lot of more muted, neutral kind of colors. The kind of greens and reds I used were a lot more neutral and just muted, so they weren't super like bright and obnoxious. I liked having it more of a neutral kind of Christmassy theme. So while I work on that pattern on the side of this spread, I thought I would talk a little bit more about the spreads that I'm doing throughout this month, because I did change up some of the things that I did this month. I took out some pages as well as added some because, December, Christmas, I wanted to add some Christmassy spreads. Like I said earlier, I just love Christmas and Christmas time, so I really wanted to bring some Christmassy things into these spreads. I do have some specific pages dedicated to Christmas gift shopping as well as like Christmas movies and things like that, but we will get into that. I also did take out some spreads, like I was saying, which we will also discuss when we get to those points, but I'm just really happy with how these spreads came out and what spreads I decided to include. I think that they're all going to be really helpful as well as fun to fill out throughout the month. And for this specific calendar spread as well, this one does look a bit different as well this month because of the Dutch door situation. Because I did cut off a part of the title page where my calendar spreads normally go, and then I also had that Christmassy design on the side, my actual calendar for this month had to be condensed quite a bit. So I normally do boxes that are like 5 by 5, but instead I just did 4 boxes for the width, and I still kept 5 boxes as the length, just to make sure that I had space to write what I needed. But honestly, my calendar pages are just helpful for me to kind of see an overview of the month. I don't typically write a ton in my calendar pages. I just kind of write big events, or I kind of write down like what videos I have going up on which days. So I don't need a ton of space in the individual boxes. So it actually worked out that the calendar was a bit condensed. I think it'll be fine for me, but it definitely looks a bit different than normal because of the lack of space this month. So above the main calendar, I just wrote December with a couple more doodles, as well as my YouTube and Instagram growth trackers. But that is kind of what the title page and the calendar look like. I love how they kind of connect with the Dutch door. I just think it looks really cool, and I definitely want to do more Dutch door things in the future. I feel like I always think that they add so much and they look really cool, so maybe next year I will have to experiment a little bit more. But moving on, we have the first kind of Christmassy spread. I did a lot of my like Christmassy themed spreads at the beginning of the month just because I was so excited to do them. So this is actually going to be like a shopping list gift tracker type of thing. So I actually had this red envelope from like one of those really tiny cards you can get at the Hallmark store. I keep like any envelope, any scrap paper that I get, because I can potentially use it for journaling. So I thought this was the perfect time to use it. And I put a piece of paper in there for kind of a shopping list. I can either bring that to the store with me or just write down ideas of what I need to get. And then I have the kind of main spread where I wrote making a list, checking it twice. Thought it was a little bit more fun than just writing like shopping list or gift ideas or whatever, and I can kind of keep track of all the people I need to buy presents for, if they're done, if I need to get anything for them. I just thought this was a good place to write down any ideas, anything I need to get, and just keep it all in one place. And now we're moving on to another Christmassy spread. We have my advent calendar. I just like to do this honestly for fun and for the memories. Like, I have an actual advent calendar that I use. I feel like if you're watching this video, you might appreciate the advent calendar that I have for this year. It's actually a sticker stationery type of advent calendar. I will link it below if you want to check it out, and I will be showing what I get in my Vlogmas vlogs, and I might even do it on my Instagram as well. But yeah, I'm so excited to do that advent calendar every day, but I did want to have one in my journal as well. I did it last year and I thought it was a lot of fun to color in each day, and just was an exciting thing to get me excited for Christmas, and it was also, you know, in my journal. So 2 things that I love, journaling and Christmas. So I just did the outline of the presents for each day leading up to Christmas, and I know it looks a bit plain right now, but once I start coloring them in with all the different colors leading up to Christmas, it will look a bit more full and exciting. But I did add some stars in between the presents just to add a little something to the spread. But that is my advent calendar spread. So now we're moving on to the Christmas movie list. So I'm just writing Christmas movies at the top. This is going to be where I keep track of all of the Christmas movies I want to watch and when I've watched them, because I take Christmas movies very seriously. I have a lot I like to watch every year, so I want to make sure that I get to all of them. And for the actual header for this, I do this kind of throughout a lot of these spreads. I put washi tape down so I could do the pattern kind of over the washi tape, make the full image, but when I peel the washi tape back, it will make like a really sharp line without actually having to draw a line. I don't know if that makes sense. It just gives this really nice sharp look, and it looks like the pattern is just at the top. I don't know. I just really like the way it looks. You'll kind of see it in the close-ups, but I just really like the effect having the washi tape there to create that sharp line gives. I also only wrote down 2 Christmas movies for now, just because I have so many and I knew it would take me a while to make sure I got every single one I wanted on the list, and I wanted to move forward with these spreads, so I just did 2 for now. But that is my advent calendar and Christmas movie list done. So moving on, if you've seen any of my journaling videos before, these are some spreads that might look familiar. We have my read and watch spreads. So I'm just putting down more washi tape to create that very like sharp and distinct line for the headers, and I'm going in and drawing the patterns. Once again, I just really like the way that this Christmassy pattern kind of came out, so I just kind of put it on every page as much as possible. So this is where I'll keep track of any of the books that I read or any of the movies or shows that I watched throughout the month. I obviously have my Christmas movie list, but there might be things that I watch that aren't Christmassy, or anything else really that I watch I'll put there. Just to keep track of those things, I do like to look back on that and see what I was reading and watching in certain times and certain months. So I didn't want to not have these pages this month. So I do have the pattern at the top, and then I do add some of the kind of Christmas lights that I've been adding to the spreads on the bottom, just to give something a little bit more exciting to the bottom of the spread so that all of the stuff wasn't just at the top. But yeah, pretty simple. Like to keep these open so I have plenty of room to write anything, but those are those spreads done. Also, while we're on this page, I would love to know if you have any movies or books that you like to read or have to watch around this time of year, your favorite Christmas movie, if you have any books. I just would love to know. I would love to get some recommendations or yell about our favorite Christmas movies in the comments below. Just let me know if there's anything that you always have to read or watch around this time of year. Alright, moving on to the next spread. This is going to be my habit tracker. So I decided to do the kind of sideways look for this month. I'm kind of doing a graph sort of thing. So I'm once again drawing the pattern with the header and did the washi tape to create that sharp line. Once again, just really like the way it looked, so I did it a lot. But for the actual habit tracker, I'm doing the kind of sideways thing where on the left hand side I'm going to have all the habits listed, and then across the bottom will be the days of the month, and I will just color in that box or mark it somehow to know which day I did each habit. I think once you actually see me draw the habit tracker, it'll make a lot more sense. I feel like I'm always really bad at describing what I'm drawing and what I'm doing, but I think once you actually see it, it'll make a lot more sense. And also, random side note, but I am currently sick with a cold, so I know my voice doesn't sound the cutest right now, so I apologize about that. But yeah, that is my habit tracker. I feel like there's not really much else for me to describe, just doing that pattern. Watch the satisfying washi tape being pulled off to see that sharp line, and then I'm drawing the graph with the habit tracker, and that will be where I keep track of everything that I do each day. So the next page is actually going to be my December favorites. I feel like this is when in, months past I've done my mood tracker on this page, but this month I decided not to do a mood tracker, and honestly, I feel like mood trackers are just not something that I feel necessary for my journal. Like, I fill them out when I have them, but they're not something that I always am excited to fill out. They're just not something that I think I need in my journal. So I decided to skip the mood tracker this month. I don't know if I'll bring them back in future spreads, but I've tried them multiple times. Don't find that they really work for me. So I decided to not do a mood tracker this month and do my December favorites on this page instead. So as you can see, once again, drawing those patterns, I put some lights kind of connecting the habit tracker to the December favorites page. And I also have these little bits of washi tape to mark off these boxes. I wanted to get that sharp line look without having to draw a line for the actual boxes for my favorites, for the sections of my favorites this month, if that makes sense. So I'm drawing the patterns kind of over the washi tape and leaving those boxes empty. And I will once again peel the washi tape off, and that will be where I write down the different favorite things from the month. So I have a section for music, a section for entertainment, a section for lifestyle, and one for memories. So I just wanted to section off those different things with the washi tape, create those sharp lines without actually having to draw the boxes, and I just really like the way it looked. So after the satisfying peel of the washi tape, I just went in with the tamp marker and did the kind of line for the header for each section, and then wrote down what each section was for. And then that is my December favorites page done. I really like the way it looked. I like having the pattern kind of scattered throughout an entire page. I think it looks really cool. So moving on to the final couple of spreads here, we have my brain dump page on the left-hand side. I'm once again putting the washi tape down to make the header for the brain dump. I decided to put it along the side. I just thought that that was a little bit more interesting than putting it at the top. I don't know. Just thought it'd be fun to spice it up, but I did keep the rest of the page pretty plain and empty just so I have plenty of space to write down anything I need to. I find brain dump pages pretty helpful. I find that when I don't have them, I need them, and when I actually have them in a month, I don't really use them that much, but some months I do. Some months this page is completely full, so I figured with how hectic the holidays can be and all of the things I'm going to be needing to do, it might be really helpful to have a brain dump page this month, so I of course wanted to include it. And now I'm going to have my first weekly spread on the right-hand side. I decided to only really film me setting up one because all of my weekly spreads this month I decided to do the same kind of thing. I wanted it to be a kind of a similar thing to my monthly favorites page. I just didn't put the washi tape down because putting washi tape and spacing it all out for 8 individual boxes would have taken me a very long time. So I just kind of pretended like the washi tape was there, kind of did the pattern throughout the entire page, and left kind of 7 blank spots for the days of the week where I can write what I need to get done and what's going on that day. So 7 of the 8 kind of boxes on this page I'm using for the days of the week to write my to-do lists, and then the kind of 8th section is going to be a tiny little calendar of the entire month, just so when I'm in my weekly spreads I can quickly reference what day we're in and where in the month that lies. Especially with Christmas and having to buy gifts and getting things ready for the day, I think it'll be really nice to have a quick way to reference the entire month and see where we're at and see what I need to get done in time. So I just really like having those little calendars there for a quick little reference in my weekly spreads. But that is actually the final spread, so that is going to be it for my December bullet journal setup. So here's a final flip through of what all of the spreads ended up looking like. As always, let me know what theme you decided to go with for December. I love hearing what you guys do. But that is actually going to be the final monthly setup for this year, which is so wild to me, but I'm excited to continue journaling in the new year, and I will be doing a 2022 bullet journal setup as well, which I'm so excited to start planning that out. I do also have some fun journaling videos that I want to do at the end of the year as well, so the journaling content will not end, but it's just kind of the end of the monthly setups for this year, which is so wild to me. But thank you for watching. Thank you for watching any of my bullet journal setup videos. I love doing these. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.